welcome to the channel G17 Collectibles. Today we're going to take a look at the Soundwave and Ravage figure from Threezero. This is the DLX range. This is my second figure from Threezero. The first one I have is the Chappie figure, the incredible Chappie figure. First Transformers though. Not had a Transformer figure before, so really looking forward to this one. I've heard great things and I'm really looking forward to opening this one up. So let's get the figure out of the box and take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at the box first. You have this lovely front cover with a really nice graphic image of the figure, Soundwave and Ravage. If we open this up, we can see it is a window box. The nice touch here, the lid on this has some magnets, so the flap here connects really well. You can see the figure inside, lots of accessories, a couple of hands. On the side you have a Decepticons logo. On the back we've got the Decepticons logo. On the side, Decepticons logo. And back to the front. So let's get the figure out of the box. Some nice plastic. Now, it looks like we've got two trays here. We have the first tray with the figure, accessories and Ravage. We have an instruction manual, a warranty sheet, and then at the bottom we have the base stand, which is quite a wide and large footprint, and the stand to hold the figure up. So already we can see we've got some plastics to remove here, and there's Ravage there, a couple of little bits and bobs. We've got at least 6 different hands. We have the shoulder, bazooka or cannon, and we have a rather large gun. Now I know there's some die cast in this figure. The box was pretty heavy, so I'm curious to find out which parts on this are actually die cast. I suspect it's more the lower half of the body to keep the weight distribution in a low centre of gravity. But yeah, let's take everything out of the box and take a closer look. Okay, so we have all the parts laid out now. First we'll start with the base. So it's a standard moulded plastic base with a nice Threezero logo and the Bumblebee movie logo on that. That's a pretty nice stand, nicely detailed, just a flat plastic colour. There's no paints or washes on this one, but from a Transformers perspective, the base is pretty nice, very lightweight. You can see it's kind of, it's not solid, it's moulded plastic. We also have this piece here, which I believe moves up and down to help pose the figure. So that's a pretty nice touch, some good engineering on that. You've got a lock piece to lock this place in there, and you can move this up and down. So I'm curious to see how that all works with the base. We then have a really nice large gun. You can see there, all plastic, some nice weathering on that one. It's not just a flat silver colour. Some really nice detail on there. No moving parts as far as I can tell. Well, that part moves there. But otherwise, nice. Shoulder cannon. That's really nice. All plastic, but some really nice paint applications going on in there. Some lovely, it's a lovely blue colour. And you've got some dry brushing of the silver going on. So that's a really nice, well painted part. There are a couple of parts here which I believe are to weaponise Ravage. So you have some sort of like blaster components and a wee thing here, which I think is like the vent that goes underneath his chest. You have, I said 6 hands, it's actually 7, can't count obviously. Let's just pick one of these hands up. The hands are nicely done. They are plastic. You have the wrist peg hole here. Coloration wise, pretty nice. So they're not just painted a flat colour, they do have some highlights in there. some wear points, some nice weathering. So they're pretty nice as hands go. You do get a selection of them. We'll not run through all of them, but we'll just show you a few. The hand parts, pretty nice, pretty nicely done. Fingers are slightly flexible. Ravage himself feels all plastic. It is pretty nice though, from a point of view. I've not actually had a play with this as yet, but we'll get to that soon. Quite a big, I was expecting it to be slightly smaller. He's quite a chunky character. So there you are, just basically unwrapped and unravelled. But paint application wise, that's pretty nice. It's very well detailed, very well engineered. You've got things like the movable jaw there. You've got articulation in the feet and elbow joints, as well as shoulder joints, butterfly and ball. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a pretty nice piece. Don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but yeah, all plastic, really nice paint applications, nice weathering going on in there. And then last but not least, we have the figure himself, Soundwave. Now this has a considerable weight to it. You're probably pushing about 1 kilogram in weight, close to something like that. The engineering and articulation on this one is bananas. Something loose and rattly in there. Need to find out what's in there. Yeah, the articulation, some really good engineering going on. You can see the ab crunch. You've got the detail coming out here. The legs feel as if they are really heavy die cast. You have a double bend knee. Oh, that's really nice. See that? How the thigh panel, it catches here and then pulls it down and moves it. That is a really nice engineering touch. I'm pretty impressed with this, you know. Some really nice things going on in this. You have some great weathering. You have nice, chunky, detailed components and parts. Nice head articulation with the neck moving as well. So it's not just a ball joint, you can see the neck is moving. Yeah, so this is a really, really nice, weighty, well painted, really great figure. So I'm going to have a bit of a play about with it, and then we'll get the video back on and we'll have a look at what this can actually do. Okay, so first initial impressions are that this figure is an absolute beast, and I've only been playing with it for maybe 5 minutes, getting out of the box, changing a couple of hands, and just finding out more about the figure. It is mostly die cast, I believe, in the legs. That's where all the weight is, and there's so many parts to this figure that move. It's unbelievable. Everything you touch seems to move in a different direction, and it just really has some awesome engineering contained within it. If we turn the figure around, a couple of things I'll point out. The shoulder cannon is held on with a die cast piece, which is this piece right here that plugs into the back and to the base of the shoulder cannon. I haven't quite worked out how this stand works yet. I believe that this component here slots into the base of the figure. Perhaps I've got this round the wrong way, but it doesn't seem to work all that well at the moment. However, I'll work it out. As I was saying, there's lots of moving parts on this, and it just helps with the articulation of the actual figure. Word of caution, I've already managed to pull some of these off just by simply manoeuvring them. You can see the pause and play buttons here. These do move. They're a wee ball joint in here holding this panel on, and you can move them up and down, but they are quite fragile. They do pop off. Easy enough to get on, but they do pop off. Soundwave also has the front flap cover, which you can then stick Ravage in. The Ravage figure is really, really nice. It's really well done. There's lots of really fantastic paint applications going on here. I did come across a wee part that was rattling about in the rear of the figure up in here. Haven't quite worked out where that goes yet, but I'm sure I'll find out eventually. But yeah, overall I'm relatively quite impressed. The articulation's great, it's well engineered, it's well detailed. The hands are really difficult to put on and off, they're really tight. A little bit of heat might work better if you're planning to do that yourself, but at least you know they're not going to pop off easily when you're trying to put things like the gun in hand. But yeah, I think for my first Transformers figure, I'm really impressed. I'm so pleased I picked this one up. He's a really great beast of a figure, and yeah, I think he's well worth the money that you pay for him. Let's do some kind of close-ups, and I'll show you some of this detail and application. So you can see here, here's Soundwave's head. If we move the head back, forward, side and side, you can see that neck piece also moves as well, which is a really good engineering touch. Moving down to the shoulders, you have articulation in this shoulder panel here, which moves all the way up, and you can see the detail that's contained within there. We also have really nice thick forearms, very well detailed and painted. Here's the inside of the chest panel. You can see Threezero haven't decided just to make that black. They've actually put a graphic on the inside, which is really nice. It's just flat, there's no raised or moulded detail. It's literally just like a sticker, but that's really cool. Moving around, you can see the weathering and panel highlights that they've managed to achieve on that. That's a really nice touch. You don't really want a figure like this to look brand new, just painted out the factory. You want it looking battle worn, you want it looking weathered, and I think Threezero have done a wonderful job in some of this weathering. You can see every single corner, every single line. The blue has a lot of black wash through it, so it looks worn and dirty, but it also has these highlighted silver wash details, which are fantastic. I mean, just look at that there. You can see here, you've got some really nice weathering detail going on. Down to the legs. The articulation on this figure's excellent and very well engineered. I've showed you previously, these thigh panels are hinged and move along when you bend that leg. And then down here, some really nice detail and weathering on the lower leg here. So that's Soundwave. Let's have a look at Ravage. Ravage, very well detailed. Don't know if the camera's picking this up in focus. Yes, it is. Couple of bits to put on, the leg rockets, the top vent there just clicks on, two little plastic plugs. But again, very well engineered, very well thought out and very well painted. I have to applaud Threezero in this one. I think they've done an excellent job. Weathering's one of these things on figures that I think there should be more of. I think a lot of figures from Hot Toys, etc., they look too new. They don't go that extra mile to wear them. I've said in previous videos, Hot Toys have really stepped their weathering up. I feel with the recent Mandalorian figures that I've done reviews on and unboxed, the weathering is a lot better than what it has been in the past. They seem to be doing a better job of that. But Threezero, right off the bat, have done an amazing job with this figure, paint application wise and weathering. Okay, let's see now what pose I'm going to try and get out of this figure. I've got something in mind. I want to try and achieve what I have in my head. Let's see if we can. Okay, so here is pose number one. We have the gun straight up. We have the left hand finger pointing. We have a twist in the torso. We have the feet slightly misaligned with the legs. And we have Ravage just about to step off the stand and do whatever Soundwave commands. Good pose. I don't feel there's enough room on the stand. Well, there isn't enough room in the stand for Ravage. I don't feel it. I know it. The central column and limits where you can place Soundwave on the stand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try. It's a remarkably steady figure. It has the feet have a large footprint. The weight is on the legs. You don't really need the central column stand. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to move Soundwave off to the right, and I'm going to try and put Ravage on the stand of it. Yeah, that's a lot better. Removing that central column just allows me more space on that massive base footprint to have both Soundwave and Ravage on a display. Now I really like that. It's a kind of museum, statuesque type pose. It's just a rough concept at the moment. Kind of like that kind of idea. If I'm going to go with something like that, I'm going to have to refine it. But let's see what else we can do with it. Right, so here in this one, I wanted Ravage kind of bursting out and transforming out of Soundwave's chest. You can see I've lowered the gun arm now just naturally by the side. I still have Soundwave's fingers pointing. I've lowered the flap and I've literally bent the legs of Ravage back, including the tail, and kind of put him in the cassette hatch, as if he's saying Ravage eject. I kind of like that. I don't know if I like it as much as the first one. I think it looks pretty cool, but it also reminds me a little bit of like the Alien chest burster. You know, something bursting out of Soundwave's chest. Obviously needs much more refinement if you were going to do something like that, but the fact you can do it, I think, is amazing. The fact that you can have Ravage coming out of his chest like that, I think is just a fantastic concept. And well done to Threezero again for giving us the option to do this. Not completely satisfied with that. I preferred the first one that I had, so I'm going to try a bit of a combination. I also realised that these legs, they were really tight and stiff. I didn't think you were able to move the leg this way, but you can. The good rotational twist there, but you can actually move the leg, so that's going to help when it comes to posing. But yeah, let's see what else we can get from this. So this is what I've ended up with, something I'm really pleased with. Soundwave, quite a lot of twisting in his waist and legs and feet, just subtly, but there is quite a lot of twisting in there. I wanted him not to be in sort of such a static straight up and down pose. You can see I've kept the left arm pointing. I've got the right arm with the gun now pointing down by his side, as if he's telling Ravage to attack. And I've got Ravage on the base. So yeah, I'm really happy with that pose. It is a kind of museum / statuesque pose, but I'm really happy with it. Ravage wasn't the easiest to pose, trying to get his legs in a natural position. Still got some tidying up to do, etc. with some of the parts. I eventually found out where the part that was rattling about goes. It's to cover up that hole for the stand that goes in there. So it's meant to be loose. Just plugs straight back in the hole there. So that's good. And the more I play with Soundwave, the more bits I find it can move, the more panels have got articulation, etc. It really is absolutely incredible. It's a very well engineered figure. So now that I've got the final pose, let's take a closer look at it, and then we can wind the video. So here we go. And the final pose, let's take a look. Some of this detail up close again, because it really is something to be appreciated. It's a beast of a figure, it really is. I think Threezero have done a fantastic job here. From the sculpt, to the engineering, to the articulation, right to the paint and the weathering. It's a phenomenal piece. I'm so glad I picked it up. Picked it up from Sideshow. Here in the UK, we can order from Sideshow, being a European distributor, which I use alongside other retailers, and managed to get this one, which was in stock and still is in stock at the time of this video, and used a whole bunch of reward points towards it. So I think shipping cost me £30. I had to put £70 towards the actual figure. I think I used about $120 worth of reward points, which I got from other purchases. And from Sideshow Con, a couple of weeks ago, I managed to get about $65 at Sideshow Con, just taking part in the trivia and the quizzes. So I had money to spend, and this is what I decided to spend it on. Tax for this one was £32, so all in probably paid about, say, £130 for it. But I think for £130 cash, this is a marvellous purchase. It's an absolute beast, and I think it's worth the full price. I think, you know, if you're going to pay £250 for it, it's still very much worth it. It's a great figure. I'm really, really happy. This is the Threezero DLX line. I don't know too much about Threezero or Transformers, to be honest with you, but I understand there is a larger and more detailed Premier line out there, and if it's better than this, wow, I might just have to check out the Premium or Premier line, because if it's better than the DLX, that would be phenomenal. I might check some of them out. So yeah, there we are, the Threezero DLX Soundwave and Ravage. Very, very happy. Couple of things I wish it really had. I would like a slightly better bass. I think the bass is a bit, you know, considering the amount of work, weathering, paint app that's went into the actual figure, I just wish the bass was maybe slightly better. I wish it was painted and it had the weathering and dry brushing on it as well. It's a bit too plasticky for my liking. So yeah, I think the base could be done better. I also think the large pillar column stand, which I appreciate is very well engineered. Again, it is just moulded plastic. It's very lightweight. It plugs into the base very securely, but it's a bit cumbersome. It's a bit awkward. I wish it was engineered maybe slightly better. I don't really know why it's such a big unit. To allow a flight pose, I don't think Soundwave flies. I don't know. I don't really get the whole stand. I think the stand could have been done better. And if you do have the option of not using the column stand, then why not have some plugs to plug up these holes? Because the figure can stand on its own. The other nice to have thing, I think, would be a button that you go beep and you get that movie quote Soundwave eject from the War in Cybertron and the Bumblebee movie. That would have been phenomenal on a wee remote control or something. That would be worth an extra £20–30 at least on top of this figure, having some voice and sounds from it. But other than that, you know, I don't have too many complaints about this one. I think it's phenomenal. The engineering, the articulation, the paint, the sculpt, the whole design, I think, is fantastic. So that's the Threezero Soundwave and Ravage. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do check out other videos on my channel. Feel free to subscribe for more content coming up. I'm just about to do another couple of videos on the Hot Toys Armourer and the Bandai Project BM Akira bike. So yeah, more content coming up. Please do check out some of that content in the future. Give us a like if you like what you've seen here today, and thank you very much for checking out this video. This has been G17 Collectibles, and take care.